So I just finished recording a vlog on how to absolutely dominate, make millions, and not put in any work whatsoever, and just literally not even have to take on any risk. And then I forgot to hit record. So unfortunately, that vlog will never come to light. But I got another one for you, all right? And then this one came about because we got a lot of questions about this topic, and it's really how can somebody who's in a high pressure, high stress environment, you're a lawyer, you're a law firm owner, you deal with a lot of stress, you're an entrepreneur, how do you combat burnout, right? The infamous burnout, meaning that you're just tired, you get exhausted, you don't have the energy anymore, you're not excited, how do you deal with that? And they've done a lot of studies on this. They've studied a lot of high pressure, high stress roles, and everything from firefighters to teachers to healthcare and hospital workers and so on. And what they actually found, it was not the working of more hours. So in fact, it wasn't working less hours led to less burnout, and more hours led to more burnout, but rather in terms of the type of work that they were doing and whether that was aligning with work that was motivating and energizing to the individual. So basically, this is what it comes down to. If you can find small victories, meaning that the clients that you were helping, that how you are impacting them, or people in your community and so on, or the team members that you are empowering, and so and also that you're doing the type of work that really aligns with what you love to do and the impact you wish to make, and you're spending your time primarily focusing on those things. So if you hate admin work and you're spending the bulk of your time doing admin work, well, undoubtedly over time you're going to get exhausted and burnt out, and you're not going to be excited about it. Perhaps the solution might be to either delegate that or find and hire somebody who can free you up from that so you can focus on, let's say you love litigating cases or you love working with clients, that you can focus on that, or vice versa. Let's say you love working on the business, but you're too tied into various matters inside the business. You're constantly working in the business and you want to get out of that cycle. First and foremost, it's important to really kind of figure out, do I have the right people in place to help to free me up? If you don't, hiring them, and there's a whole, literally run an entire program tied to hiring and leadership and culture and so on. So there's a lot more to talk about this in regard, than just this vlog alone. But back to burnout in particular, this is really about, the gratitude and recognizing the wins, and extending this to your team as well. You're really showcasing the clients that you're helping, the impact that you're making for them and then their families. And like I said, it's less about the hours that you're working and more about the type of work that you're doing and whether it's motivating and energizing to you. And if it's not, really considering, how do I spend my time? Because, you can't go on indefinitely doing work that does not energize you, that does not excite you, and does not align with you making any type of impact or aligning with any of your strengths. That's a perfect recipe for burnout. But not to mention, it's also you're not going to make the greatest impact that you could, because you're not going to be driven by that type of work. So, it's really focusing on, what do you enjoy the most about the work that you do? And if you could spend all day doing it, how exciting would that be to you? And could you do it? Would you ever burn out from that? Maybe not, So the real question is, what needs to happen in order for you to be able to focus on doing the types of activities and, the types of work that does energize you most of the time. And like I said, it usually involves delegation. It can involve automation. It can involve hiring people that free you up, or free up somebody who frees you up.